Hello, I'm Clare Squires and I'm the Disability Officer for Autism at Montfort University. And today we're going to talk about scams and about money muling. Now, the reason we're going to talk about this is because it is probably something that you encounter several times a day. You probably get scam emails in your inbox. You might get scam texts and Instagram stuff. And you might meet people on the street, you might meet people in bars or clubs that are out to scam you. And the reason for us talking today is not to make you feel too anxious to go out for fear of being scammed, too anxious to open any email for fear of being scammed, but just to give you the knowledge and the power to be able to think about things and see things a little bit more clearly. Now, I'm not suggesting that by watching this video you're going to be immune to all scams, if only, but I'm hoping that this will get you thinking and could help you think before you act, and hopefully, and it's just that second of thinking before you act that might be all you need to save yourself from getting scammed. So these are the things that we're going to talk about today. We're going to look at some common scams. We're going to talk a bit about money mules. We're going to particularly talk about money muling because for people that are out to legitimise some money that they've got, so that they need it laundering, student bank accounts are perfect. So that's something that that people are on the lookout for, students with nice clean bank accounts. We'll also talk about what to do if you think you've been scammed, and I'm going to give you some advice about how you can keep yourself safe. So what is a money mule? So criminal organisations rely on money mules to clean their money that they've got through organised crime. So very often that is they've made some money through drug trafficking or human trafficking, something horrible like that. And they need to legitimise the money that they've got. They need it laundering, they need it cleaning. And by passing that money through a nice, legitimate bank account like yours, there will be less chance of that money being traced back to them, and their money is clean and respectable once more. So let's go on to the next video, next slide. So this is a really relatable video. You could stop my video and watch this one now if you wanted to, or save it till the end, but it's about students and very, very relatable. Now I'm going to move myself on this slide if I can. No, I can't. Okay, so as you can see from this slide, students are very appealing to criminals who need to clean their criminal funds. So you might get approached when you're online, or you might get approached when you're out in real life. And someone might offer you a way to make some money quickly. So it might be on Instagram or something like that. You see it advertised as a way of making money quickly. And you might encounter people in real life, friends, who are doing just this very thing and making money really quickly. And do you know what? It can seem so very appealing, very enticing, because they're making money, quite a bit of money, for seemingly no effort. And you might think that you might feel yourself under a bit of pressure because you know it seems a no-brainer. You know, you can make money from not doing anything, and why, you know, everybody wants money. It can be very, very enticing. Now, the reason it is so very lucrative for people to sit around and do nothing is because there's a hell of a lot of risk involved. So although you may not be actually physically doing anything, you've got to go and do anything, just hand your card over or your bank details over, you are carrying huge risk there. So there is so if you were caught as a money mule, you could be left with no bank account and no way of getting a bank account again. Your credit score could be destroyed, and you might be unable to apply for a loan or a phone, stuff like that in the future. And this is the worst case scenario, but let's talk about it anyway. You could go to prison. So I think the most you could go to prison is 14 years. So there is stuff involved. It's not just a question of you sitting back and earning money for nothing. You're carrying huge risk there. And the reason that there's such harsh sentencing and repercussions is because of the nature of the crimes that money laundering is disguising. Child sexual exploitation, drugs, county lines, terrorist financing, stuff like that. So it's not as easy and fun as Money Mule might suggest it is. So with money muling, chances are you'd get asked for your bank card for a couple of weeks. That's all they'd want, just your bank cards, and don't use your bank account for a couple of weeks. So if somebody's suggesting something like that to you, basically you know now, don't you? It's money muling. That's what you're being asked to do. It is illegal, and you could get yourself in some really serious trouble. And my suggestion would be there are other ways of earning some money, not such risky ways of earning money, and ways that you could be proud of yourself and feel pride, and you could be doing something you enjoy, making money through your own cleverness. Anyway, right, on to other scams that you might come across. So despite what you might hear people say, and I hear it lots of times on TikTok and Instagram, get rich quick schemes. But despite what people say, there are no get rich quick schemes. So you might come across these scams, refund sites. So you might get an email about this, or you might it might be a pop-up, you might click on something, and they're offering to refund all your purchases. All you've got to do is send them your bank details, and then all of your purchases they will be refunding. Now, how would that work as a business model? How could anybody make any money doing that sort of a website? It doesn't make any sense. And so what I would encourage you to do every time when you think, is this a scam, is to stop and think, does this sound too good to be true? How would this even work? And when you've taken that little bit of time to pause, just a few seconds, that can be all you need to think, hang on a minute, no, that I'm not going to do this. But the autism team have come across students that have signed up to these sorts of refund sites. If you've done something like that, let us know. We can help you out. Now, this is one that I get pretty often in varying ways. It's you get either a text, an email, saying that you've underpaid on the delivery of something, or you've missed your parcel. And sometimes, you know, you get your text from them and there's a link for you to click on to rebook or to pay for the underpaid delivery. And they might ask you to download an app or some software. Now, this can be really enticing, really exciting, because you think, well, hang on a minute, I didn't order anything. Oh, you know, something must have got delivered to me by accident. Oh, great! It could be something that I want, something free. So it can be quite exciting like that. The thing is, if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. So I find it quite difficult sometimes to keep track of what I have actually ordered and what has actually turned up, especially at Christmas. So my advice to you, and actually my advice to me, is to keep a little list, a spreadsheet or something, however you want to do it, to keep a track of the stuff that you've ordered and whether you've received it yet. Because especially at Christmas, these sorts of scams are playing on that people don't remember what they've ordered and they're in a hurry. They need it to be delivered quickly, so they don't take the time to think it over. They act quickly. When I get messages like this, I've usually, you know, they just pop up on my phone. I'm like just about to do something else, and it makes me feel a bit panicky. Oh my goodness, I better deal with that quickly. Sometimes there's a bit of they're time sensitive. You've got to do it within the next 12 hours, or the parcel will be returned, or whatever. And sometimes I can feel myself being very tempted to click on it quickly, get it sorted before I go to my next meeting or do my next whatever it is. So be aware of that one. Really, really common, and just want you to be aware of it. So this is another scam. So just as there are so many different ways of communicating now, there are so many ways of scamming people. So you might receive an unexpected call, you know, maybe from a number that you don't recognise, very likely a withheld number or one that you just don't know. And so is somebody really nice on the end of the phone, really chatty, friendly, and they're trying to get you to sign up for something or buy something or have a free trial of something. Now, this is about psychology, really. We, as humans, we don't want to offend people. We don't want to appear rude. And we're chatting to somebody very nice. They've established a bit of rapport with us. That's their clever, cunning way of winning us over, making us do what they want us to do. So we need to take a few seconds, minutes to think about things like this. So do we want to do that? And if we don't want to, we don't have to do it just to please somebody else, just to not appear rude or not offend somebody. And it can be really hard to appear to be rude to somebody, but sometimes we have to do that to protect ourselves. So it's fine to say no thank you, and put the phone down. You don't have to give anybody any excuses, any reasons, just no thank you. You don't have to be nasty, you don't have to be rude, just no thank you. So things like free trials, very tempting, but if things seem a little bit too good to be true, they probably are too good to be true. And yeah, you might get a free trial of something, but it might be really difficult to stop that free trial. And you've given your bank details and you've got yourself into a situation that it's going to take you a while to get out of later on. So always be very wary. I know you all are when you see numbers that you don't recognise on your phone. no need to answer them. If it was really important, they'd leave a message or they'd try again later. And if there is a phone number that's called you on your phone, you can always do that reverse lookup, can't you, and see if it is a legitimate person. And don't answer them. You don't have to ring them back. If it's important, they will find a way of getting hold of you. So that is a very common scam. Can catch us off guard because we're busy getting on with our day. The phone rings, quickly deal with that, and then deal with something else. And we want them to go because we need to get on. And sometimes the only way to get them to go is we think, oh, we'll just do what they say, but we don't need to. We're in control, and we can just say no, thank you, and that can be the end of it. And you don't need to think about it again. Okay, here's another scam. Oh my goodness, who doesn't like to see an email telling them that you've won a prize? So these sorts of emails tell you that you've won a prize. Maybe it's a holiday. Maybe you've got to attend an event, or maybe you've got to pay for the postage of this free item before you can receive it. Be suspicious about these sorts of things. Try and keep a bit of a list, a bit of a spreadsheet of competitions that you have entered, and when the closing date for those competitions was, so you've got a bit of an idea of what competitions you have entered, and you'll have a bit of an idea of whether this is a legitimate one or not a legitimate one. But it's a scam 9 times out of 10. If they want you to send your bank details so that they can put the money in your account, no, that's very suspicious. If you've got to go somewhere to collect it, that's very suspicious. If you've got to pay for the delivery of something, then that is not, it's beyond suspicious. That one is cut and dried, definitely a scam. So my advice to you when you get these sorts of emails is to be suspicious. Think, is this a scam? Have I entered anything? Does this sound too good to be true? And just give it some thought, because just having a few minutes thought about things can often save you from acting in the moment, in that moment of emotion. Oh, I've won something. And when the emotion's gone, you can look at things a little bit more realistically. Okay, this one is well, I'm calling it the Nigerian prince scam. This is a scam as old as time, and so old it's got its own name. But over the years it has altered, and it may not be a Nigerian prince that is contacting you, but it follows that same pattern. You'll probably get an email from a foreign dignitary promising you a share of a huge sum of money. So it could be a prince, could be a member of parliament, it could be or diplomat, all sorts of people, so people with status, and they'll have some kind of story. So either a sad story about how they're imprisoned, or they are being blackmailed, or anyway some kind of story to make you feel sorry for them, and so that you realise there's no way that they could actually get themselves out of this situation without your help. And they want your bank details so that they can pay in a load of money of theirs, and then they'll give you a section of this money for the to thank you for allowing them to use your bank account. It's a scam, just like the money muling kind of scam. It's the same thing. They want your bank details. They're going to pass some money through it to legitimise their illegal illegally gained money, or they're just going to take the money out of your account. Either way, it's a very well-honed scam. It's been going for years. The reason it's been going for years is because it works. So lots and lots of people have been scammed out of money through this scam. Haha, here we are then. This is about an overpayment scam. So you might get an email telling you that you have overpaid for something. And then you might think, that must be a mistake because I haven't paid for anything just lately. And then all you've got to do, they're asking for you to send your bank details so that they can pay you back this overpayment. Now, your first thought, because again, this is going to be an emotional reaction, your first thought is going to be, oh, I haven't paid for anything. Oh, they've got me muddled up with somebody else. Oh, I'm going to get a payment, I'm going to be reimbursed for something that I haven't even paid for. Oh, brilliant. And of course, that feeling like that, you think, great, right. Oh, what do they need me to do? Oh, send my bank details. Okay. If you get something like this, rather than acting in the heat of the moment, in those few seconds of excitement, I want you to think, what's this about? What could happen? What is the chances of somebody mixing me up with somebody else and accidentally telling me that they are going to reimburse me for an overpayment that I haven't even made? If it sounds too good to be true, that's because it is too good to be true. So what are they going to do? Are they going to use your bank details for illegal purposes? Very likely. So again, a scam that is prevalent and one just to be aware of and just to think about before you act. Okay then, this is another one particularly prevalent in our gaming communities. So you might find messages on forums, message boards, in chat, and maybe people are offering you cheat codes or power-ups or upgrades of some kind, and all you've got to do is send your money or your credit card details, whatever, and so you send your money and you get nothing back. They're just basically cons. My advice is, don't be tempted by these fake cheat codes or fake power-ups or fake upgrades. They sound very, very enticing, and I've felt very similarly myself, especially when I was on Club Penguin. I was always wanting to find some kind of cheat code to get me enough coins so that I could build a new igloo. It's really tempting, but only purchase from reputable sources, because that's the only way that you can be sure that you're not going to have your account closed or you're going to get scammed. And as always, don't give your financial information to anyone that you don't know in person. You might very well know them in the gaming community, in the group that you're playing with. You might think you know them, but unless you've met them in real life, and I don't give my financial information even to my boyfriend. My financial information is completely private to me. I don't share it with anybody. So your financial information is yours, and I wouldn't share it with anybody, even if they would. Even if they are promising me a brand new igloo on Club Penguin. So This offer is very, very enticing. Someone that you're chatting to online or exchanging emails with promises to give you access to unlimited downloads of games for your mobile devices. All you have to do is send them like a one-off payment of $40 or whatever. It's very enticing, isn't it? Now, the chances are you will send off the money and get absolutely nothing, or you might send off the money and then you might get sent links to like file sharing sites that offer illegal copies of pirated games. Be careful with those sorts of links, because not only will the games be pirated, but they'll be filled with malware and stuff that can infect your device. And what if, what if you've got no moral qualms about playing a pirated game? Well, if that's you, and I'm not here sitting in judgment, but you don't need to pay $50 to have access to pirated games. You can get them other places on the internet without paying any money at all, can't you? So never ever send any money to people that you know online. If you don't know them in real life, then do not send them money. And if an offer sounds too good to be true, like unlimited access to games for a one-off fee, that offer is way too good to be true. Don't believe it. And again, don't download games off the internet except for from trusted websites. Okay, now we're going to talk about phishing. So phishing scams, so typically you would get an email or a text or something from maybe appearing to be from your bank or I don't know, credit card, stuff like that, saying that you need to click on this link to verify that the account is yours, or else it'll be closed down, stuff like that. So you click on the link and it asks for all your information, and you fill in the information and you press send, and basically that's a phishing scam. They've got your financial details, information about you. You've given them that information, and they can use it for whatever, maybe selling it on the dark web or using that information to take out credit agreements in your name, all kinds of things. So another phishing scam that you might encounter is if you're an online gamer, you might get a phishing scam saying that you need to verify your details or you'll be locked out of your account, and you click on it, you fill in your information, and then the phishing scammers work. They've got your information, and they'll use that information either to, use your on whatever credit card you've got registered for that game, or they might change the passwords on your gaming account to lock you out of your gaming account. Either way, a nasty scam, but easy to fall into, particularly when you're in a hurry and you haven't got time to think about it, or and who wants to get locked out of their gaming account or their bank account? Nobody does, and it relies on this this moment of hurry and, oh God, I've got to get that done quickly, that people don't think it through. My best advice with these sorts of things, because they can be very difficult to distinguish from proper legal ones. So sometimes if you have a look at what site you're being directed to, it can look like an official one, but if you look very carefully, there's something a bit suspicious about the address. But as scammers get cleverer and more and more cunning, those websites that you can get directed to look like they're clones of legitimate websites, so it can be really, really tricky to tell the difference. So again, caution is needed. Every time you get something that you think, oh, do you think this is real or not? It's best to take a few minutes to have a think and before you act. Now, phishing scams. So phishing is generally done over the phone. So you get phoned up, generally from a number that you don't recognise, and it's often a business, and they want to get you to provide your personal details. It's never as obvious as that. Well, you can tell that I would be absolutely useless at being a scammer. I'd just come straight out and ask for the information. Scammers are much more cunning than that. So they're going to build a bit of rapport with you, start to chat to you about things. Maybe you're helping them with a survey. I don't know. It can be any number of things that you might be doing. But you might get several minutes into this conversation, and they've you're having a bit of a laugh with them. They're so nice and friendly. You're chatting away, getting on really well with them, and then they're asking you to provide more and more personal details. And you might be partway through that conversation before you start to think, hang on a minute, why do they need this information? I'm giving them too much information here. And if you start to realise that, then end the conversation. Say, I've got to go, sorry. That's not rude, that's just you being careful. Okay then, smishing scams. So smishing is usually a text message scam, and they're basically trying to get your maybe your username and password for something, bank details. Again, be cautious. Think, what is this? Is this really whoever they say they are? Is it someone pretending to be somebody? They might say that often I get messages, a text message, and it says, "Hi, Mum," and "Oh, it's me. Sorry, on my friend's phone. I've had an accident." Something like that. And I read it. I think, "Hi, Mum. Oh my goodness, it's my kids." And immediately I'm thinking that it is them, and it can be very difficult to think, hang on a minute, why is this person saying that they're on their friend's phone and they need money? And when I've had messages like that apparently from my kids, I give them a ring on their actual phone to see if they are okay, and every single time they've been okay, and it's been nothing to do with them. But again, this is the sort of thing, getting a text message, you're halfway through your day, you're busy doing something else, panics you, and you want to quickly get it dealt with, especially if it's people close to you asking for money. You want to quickly help them, but it's a scam, and we need to take a few seconds to think it over and think a bit logically once the emotion of the situation has died down a bit. So now we're going to talk a bit about malware. Now, malware is another danger of mobile gaming, and it is unfortunately ridiculously easy for cyber criminals to infect the devices of gamers with malicious code. What these scammers do is they convince gamers to download a legitimate looking game, but But when the gamer downloads this, either that game infects their device with malicious code, or they've downloaded a copy of the game that has been infected with malware. And once the malware has been uploaded, scammers may be able to spy on your device. Maybe they can spy on the keystrokes that you're making. Maybe they can spy on your private messages. They could take control of your device. So through that sort of scam, scammers are able to get your passwords and your bank details. The best way to defend yourself from these sorts of malware scams is to only download games from legitimate sites, and be wary of downloading a game from a site that you're not familiar with, because often those sites have got games that have been tampered with. Okay then, next one. So, what should you do if you think that you've been scammed? So, best thing is to reset your passwords. I know that you're supposed to reset your passwords every few months, aren't you? And it's good practice. It's good practice to get into. If you think you've given your bank details and you shouldn't have done, just get in touch with your bank. If you can update your antivirus software, then I'd definitely do that. Those are just easy steps to take. Now, you can ask for help from Citizens Advice. There's that link there will take you to some useful information from the Citizens Advice. You can report it to Action Fraud. That link there will take you to the reporting portal. There's a phone number. You can report Action Fraud, and you can contact the police or Crime Stoppers depending on the type of scam that you have encountered. But there is a lot of information out there because scamming is so very, very common. Okay, keep yourself safe. I know I'm telling you things that you already know, but I want you to just listen anyway. Don't use the same password for multiple sites. Pause and think. Always be cautious, be suspicious. Whenever anybody asks for information, think, hang on, what could they do with this information? Now, I would suggest that you ignore any requests to allow anybody to transfer any money into your bank account for whatever reason and whoever they are. I wouldn't accept a job offer if part of that job offer was that they needed to transfer some money into or out of your bank account, because it's not a job, you know, that is a scam. Never give your financial details to somebody that you don't know and trust, and always report any requests for stuff like that to Crime Stoppers. Okay, we can't do this at the moment because we're not in person, but I want you to have a bit of a think about the scams that you have seen. So if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask, feel free to drop a comment in the comments below. And I'm hoping that you found today's session useful. I don't want you to feel anxious and worried about this. I want you to feel like you've got a bit more information now and that you're better equipped to spot people that are out to scam you. Scammers are very cunning, very skilled. They're at the top of their game. They've spent a lot of time perfecting their skills. So it is no surprise that scamming is worth billions of pounds a year, and being caught by a scam is nothing at all to be ashamed of. It's just part of being human. So don't never feel ashamed or afraid to tell anybody. You can always let the autism team know. We can help you, signpost you where you need to go, talk it over with you. But there's lots of help out there, and also I urge you always to report any scam that you come into contact with. Anyway, thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you soon.